What's up guys? We're here in Fiji, and in this video, we're gonna give you a travel guide for how to visit some of the most beautiful islands in the country. So hope you enjoy it. The Yasawa Islands are located just northwest of Fiji's main island of Viti Levu. This stunning archipelago is made up of around 20 volcanic islands and can be divided into 3 distinct regions: the Northern, Central, and Southern Yasawas. With no roads or cars, it's a true paradise of white sand beaches, crystal clear waters, and dramatic peaks. In this video, we'll guide you through visiting the Yasawas, starting with what each island group has to offer. Then, we'll go over all the essentials, such as how to get there and the accommodation options. Now let's dive in. We are Zach and Ina. We make helpful videos about destinations around the world so you can easily plan your own adventures. The Southern Yasawa Islands include Quata, Waia, and Wayasewa. These are the closest to Port Denarau and can be reached within 2 hours from Nandi. It's a spectacular introduction to the archipelago, with a Fijian warrior greeting you from the top of a rock. Waia is the largest of the 3 islands, while Quata is the smallest, offering a quaint and intimate feel. We chose to spend our time on the smaller one and stayed at the Barefoot Quata, the only resort on the entire island. This place is a tranquil escape, with calm beaches that are perfect for swimming and snorkeling. There's also a short hike to the island's summit for those seeking some more adventure. This trail is about 3 kilometers or 1.8 miles round trip and takes between an hour to an hour and a half total. From the top, you'll be rewarded with epic panoramic views of the surrounding islands and ocean. The resort also hosts cultural experiences, including village visits and traditional ceremonies. Another highlight of staying on one of these islands is the chance to snorkel or dive with sharks. We joined a morning snorkel tour to a nearby reef, just a 15-minute boat ride away. Once our captain gave the go-ahead, we hopped in and found ourselves amongst dozens of black and white tip reef sharks. It was a truly unforgettable experience to be so close to these creatures in their natural habitat. The Central Yasawa Islands offer a more luxurious and laid-back experience, centered around the large Viti Island and its smaller neighbors. We chose to stay on Naukathuvu Island, a tranquil and exclusive retreat located about an hour's boat ride from the southern island chain. Home to the upscale Paradise Cove Resort, this island was the perfect place for us to unwind. Its beautiful beachfront, incredible facilities, and serene atmosphere made it the most romantic and relaxing stay of our trip. Beyond the resort's diverse culinary offerings, a short walk leads to a beautiful viewpoint overlooking Waia Island. While the main focus here is unwinding, the location is also great for water activities. You'll find various swimming and snorkeling spots right off the shore. The resort's biggest draw is undoubtedly the giant manta rays, which frequent the nearby Drawanga Channel from May to October. This was one of our major bucket list items for our trip to the Yasawas. Unfortunately, we learned from the dive shop manager that the manta rays hadn't been sighted any time in the past week. Nonetheless, we did go on an early morning snorkel tour to try our luck. While we didn't spot any mantas, the tour still offered wonderful views of the vibrant, colorful fish and reefs. The Northern Yasawa Islands are the furthest away from Port Denarau, requiring a 4 to 4.5 hour boat journey to reach their beautiful shores. We chose the centrally located Nathula Island as a base to explore this region. This island is home to several hotels, as well as a few homestays. We opted for the Blue Lagoon Resort, situated on one of the most stunning stretches of sand. The beach here provides fantastic swimming and snorkeling opportunities, with the water boasting an unbelievable shade of blue. Out of the 3 resorts we stayed at during our time in the Yasawas, this one offered the most activities. We could choose from guided snorkeling adventures, village visits, mountain hiking, kava ceremonies, and various types of evening entertainment. The resort also works closely with the local community on the island, and we highly recommend visiting Nathula Village, where the majority of the staff comes from. We were guided through the village to see different areas such as the school, church, and the community hall. We were warmly welcomed here with a traditional song and dance performance. There are a couple of other must-do activities in the area as well, with one of those being the hike to the top of the mountain behind the resort. The trail is relatively steep and has some loose footing, so we definitely recommend wearing decent shoes. Once you get above the tree line, you'll have some of the best views in all of Fiji. Unfortunately, there was a fire here recently, so you can see a lot of the burn marks still, but the views of the reefs and everything down below is still really nice. The other activity you can't miss is a trip to the majestic Sawa'ilau Caves, situated on a nearby limestone island. The cave system consists of 2 separate caverns that you can swim around in. The first one can easily be accessed via stairs, while the second one is more secluded and can only be reached via an underwater tunnel. It takes about 5 to 10 seconds of holding your breath in order to reach the other side, and is an exhilarating experience to say the least. Nathula Island had the most activities to choose from, which is why we based ourselves for a longer time there compared to the other islands on our trip. Now, we'll go over some important travel tips and logistics to help make your trip to the Yasawa Islands the best it can be. First, let's talk about how to get there. Beginning your Fiji adventure in Nadi is the most convenient choice. This is because Nadi Airport is the country's main international hub with the most flight connections. It also serves as the primary gateway to the Yasawa Islands, which are between 50 to 80 kilometers or 30 to 50 miles away. From Nadi, the islands can be reached by either a ferry ride, a quick seaplane, or a helicopter journey on demand. The main ferry service to the islands is the Yasawa Flyer, operated by South Sea Cruises. This high-speed catamaran runs a daily service in the morning from Port Denarau, which is a half-hour drive from the airport. It travels north along the entire chain of the Yasawa and some Mamanula Islands, stopping at various resorts and drop-off points along the way. After its final stop at the northern end of the Yasawas, the boat turns around to make the return trip, now heading south until it reaches its original point back in Port Denarau. To make island hopping easy, you can book a travel pass with South Sea Cruises. They offer two primary options, the Bula Pass and the Awesome Pass. The Bula Pass is a transport-only hop-on hop-off ticket, giving you the flexibility to travel between island resorts at your convenience. Once you reach your resort of choice, the staff comes to pick you up in their own small boat and takes you to shore directly from the ship, which is a fun experience in itself as you're often welcomed with a song at the shore. You need to book the Bula Pass as well as your own accommodation in advance. The price varies depending on your length of stay, which has to be between 5 to 15 days, but typically starts around 555 Fijian dollars for 5 days. The Awesome Pass, on the other hand, includes both the ferry transfers and prepaid accommodation. Both passes include the bus transfer to and from Port Denarau before and after your island trip. The Yasawa Islands offer a diverse range of options for accommodations, primarily consisting of resorts and village homestays. Homestays offer the most budget-friendly choice, though they're also the most basic. We chose to stay at 3 different resorts, which cater to varying budgets. All 3 resorts we stayed at offered dorm rooms, small double rooms with shared bathrooms, and luxurious private rooms. To balance costs, we opted for a mix. For instance, our small shared bathroom accommodations at Blue Lagoon and Paradise Cove were surprisingly cheaper than the private beachfront bure we booked at Barefoot Quata Resort, even though the facilities at the former resorts were fancier overall. You can find links to all of the resorts in the description below the video, or use the QR codes on the screen in case you want to book them for your own trip. A crucial cost to consider when booking resorts is the mandatory meal plan, which is not usually included in the room rate and must be paid upon arrival. Since there are no independent restaurants on the islands, these plans cover breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and generally average around $100 per person per day, and vary depending on the resort's caliber. For us, the food was definitely one of the highlights, particularly at Blue Lagoon and Paradise Cove, which offered exquisite Japanese-style omakase dinners as well as multi-course meals. This was some of the best food we've ever had during our 5 years of travel. Barefoot Quata offered a simpler and slightly cheaper buffet-style meal plan, which was still tasty but not as fancy. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed our Yasawa Islands travel guide. We included all the important links you'll need for your own trip in the description below the video. We'll catch you on the next adventure.